In 2021, nearly 500,000 people packed their bags and moved to Texas, more than any other state in the U.S. They came chasing low taxes, cheaper homes, and booming tech hubs. But just 2 years later, something shifted. Housing prices surged, roads clogged, the power grid strained. And for many transplants from California, New York, and beyond, the Lone Star State wasn't delivering the dream. This is the rise and growing regret of the new Texas. Texas has long been a land of booms and beckoning frontiers. In the decades after World War II, the Lone Star State's economy exploded. Oil gushed, aerospace took off, and high-tech firms like Texas Instruments sprang up. Waves of newcomers poured in during the Sun Belt migration of the late 20th century, drawn by plentiful jobs and warm weather. The 1970s oil boom, for example, brought a gusher of growth. Houston swelled into a global energy hub as high oil prices fueled wealth, and 500,000 new residents flocked to Texas in the first half of that decade. Even when oil busts hit the 1980s, Texas rebounded by diversifying its economy. And by 1994, it had surpassed New York to become America's second most populous state. Fast forward to the early 21st century, and Texas was riding yet another wave, this time a high-tech and corporate influx. Austin transformed from a quirky college town into Silicon Hills, home to Dell, tech startups, and eventually even Elon Musk's Tesla in 2021. The promise driving this modern exodus to Texas is a compelling one. Bigger homes for less money, more job opportunities, a lower cost of living, and yes, freedom from state income taxes. It's as if Texas has been marketing itself as the American dream's last frontier. And indeed, new residents often do find spacious homes, plentiful jobs, and vibrant, growing cities. For a while, it seemed like a win-win. Tech workers from Silicon Valley could sell a cramped bungalow for millions and buy a McMansion in suburban Austin. Families from the Midwest could trade Rust Belt blight for booming Houston suburbs with shiny new schools. So it's little wonder that Texas gained not one but two new congressional seats after the 2020 census. From the Sun Belt retiree migrations of mid-century to the COVID-era Zoomtown relocations, Texas has continually sold itself as a land of opportunity. But as we're about to explore, the dream that drew tons of newcomers is colliding with some harsh Texan realities. The first rude awakening for many new Texans has been housing costs. But wait, wasn't affordable housing the selling point of moving to Texas? Indeed, for decades, Texas cities offered much lower home prices than coastal metros. But as everyone rushed in, home prices shot up at a feverish pace. Median home prices in Texas jumped 40% between 2019 and 2023 alone. In hotspot metros, it was even crazier. Many newcomers arriving expected to snag a spacious home for a bargain, only to encounter bidding wars and ballooning mortgages. As remote work became common, families with big city salaries flooded Texas real estate, driving prices to record highs. Compounding the issue, a long-term housing shortage means there simply aren't enough homes being built. As of 2021, Texas was 306,000 homes short of the number needed to meet demand. And it's not just purchase prices, rents climbed steeply as well in the boomtowns. Austin's rent, for instance, became among the fastest growing in the country through 2021. Then there's the kicker, property taxes. Texas famously has no income tax, but the revenue has to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is your property tax bill. Texas now has the 7th highest property tax rates in the nation. New homeowners are often stunned to find annual tax bills that rival a year's rent. And in fast-growth counties, appraisals have surged alongside home values, meaning even early buyers saw their taxes shoot up. As one observer mentioned, newcomers traded one housing crisis for another. And housing is just the beginning. Texas's growth has also exposed deeper strains in the very systems that support its booming population. The second major regret for many new Texans comes when they confront the state's infrastructure. Texas cities, built on the promise of wide open space and car-centric sprawl, are now infamous for traffic gridlock. The Austin to San Antonio corridor, for example, is growing into one continuous metroplex. Interstate 35, which connects these cities, has become a nightmare of congestion. For every 1% increase in population, traffic on I-35 has been increasing 3 to 4%. And it's not just that one highway. In Dallas, Houston, and Austin, commute times have worsened and road infrastructure hasn't kept up. City planners scramble to widen freeways and add toll roads, but it often feels like too little too late. But new lanes fill up almost as soon as they open. Of course, no discussion of Texas infrastructure woes can omit the infamous power grid failure of February 2021. A freak winter storm dubbed Winter Storm Uri brought record cold and snow, and the state's independent electricity grid collapsed. More than 4.5 million homes and businesses lost power. Some shivered without heat for days. Pipes burst across unheated houses, water systems failed, and tragically, at least 246 Texans died during the blackout and cold. This disaster, which caused an estimated $1 to $200 billion in damage, exposed that Texas's power grid was unprepared for extreme stress. The grid operators hadn't required sufficient winterization of power plants, and natural gas supply froze up, creating a domino effect. Imagine moving from the Midwest or East Coast to escape harsh winters, but only to freeze inside your new Texas home. Beyond electricity, other utilities are under pressure. Water is a big one, especially in a state known for periodic droughts. A recent state analysis warned that Texas does not have enough water to meet demand in a severe drought scenario. Aging water infrastructure is part of the problem. The state's legislature, realizing the looming crisis, struck a $20 billion water infrastructure deal in 2023 to fund new projects. But experts say that might be a drop in the bucket. Texas could need over $150 billion by 2050 to truly secure its water future at the current growth rate. Fueling the drought are summers. In 2023, Texas experienced its hottest year on record, even hotter than the notorious summer of 2011. A crushing heat wave blanketed the state in late summer of 2023, making it the second hottest summer ever recorded there. More than 334 Texans died from heat in 2023, the highest heat-related death toll since record began in 1989. It's not the dry heat of Arizona either. Much of Texas gets muggy, swampy heat that makes the air feel like soup. Air conditioning bills skyrocket, and outdoor activities become hazardous. Many new Texans didn't quite sign up for this. A family that moved from, say, Oregon to Austin might have expected heat, but not 45 days in a row of 100-degree plus heat. In one survey post-pandemic, many who moved to Texas ended up regretting it, citing the weather extremes, infrastructure issues, and higher than expected housing costs. And yet Texas keeps growing. This dichotomy, booming inbound migration and rising grumbles of discontent, is the story of a place caught in transition. Texas is trying to turn that breakneck growth into lasting prosperity without cracking under the pressure. Whether it succeeds will impact not just Texans, but the whole country, given Texas's outsized role in the national economy and politics. Thanks for watching.